Hey, Omar again with Chicago Cycle Network. Booyakasha. Yeah, for you guys who know what Booyakasha means, that's from Ali G. I go way back to Ali G. I'm a big fan of his. I used to watch him in college all the time. This guy was just so funny. We need more humor like Ali G again so we can loosen up. But anyway, today I'm here with somebody that, how we met. It's a crazy story. I'm a big fan of ABOS helmets, like a big fan, okay? So I saw this helmet on Facebook Marketplace, which I buy a lot of stuff from. I'm like, I need to add this color to my collection. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, do you still selling this helmet? And before even that, I noticed that we actually have common friends on Facebook. How crazy is that, right? So I reached out and he's like, yeah, I don't mind selling it to you and everything, but he's way down south. I mean, like way down south, close to University of Chicago, which I'm way up north. But anyway, it so worked out that he works up north. So we contact each other and he said, hey, you can meet me at where I work. And so amazingly, it's close to like 10 minutes away from where I live, less than 15 minutes away. So we end up meeting up. And then I come to find out, his name is Kevin. All the guys I know from cycling, especially my friend Kendall. Hey, Kendall, you need to come on the show, okay? But you're always busy traveling to Puerto Rico and doing your fancy rides. Hey, we're going to see you pretty soon, though. What we're going to do, we're going to work something out. All right, Kendall? Remember, you say you're going to be on the show, so let's work something out. But anyway, so we met up and come to find out, we're cyclists and we have this in common. So I asked him about, do you want to come and talk about cycling? Of course, I'll do it. And that was a couple weeks ago, but, we were busy with different things. And finally, he made it. He drove all the way from down south here, sitting down. So we're going to get to learn about him. And again, guys, we have people like Kevin in the network. And his last name is Carter, right?
Yep.
Are you related to Jay-Z?
No.
Man, that would be so cool, right? Anyway, this is what we're all about, okay? We're here to have fun. And I it just innuendos and stuff, and this is what makes this conversation amazing. Anyway, so we have people like Kevin in the network, guys. And again, I can't thank everybody enough who have been supporting the channel and where they're subscribing, giving me views, and connecting with people all over Chicago, because these are the people that are in the network that makes Chicago work and makes a beautiful place. So we're going to learn about Kevin today. So we're going to introduce himself and then we're going to go from there. So Kevin, thanks again for showing up, and
no problem.
Introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
Kevin Carter. I am the owner of Misfits Cycling in Chicago. We are also affiliated with Major Taylor cycling clubs. I think this is we're going into our 7th year of the club. This is my 16th year of cycling.
Wow, long time. Way longer than me.
Yeah, sure. I've been doing this for like 16 years now. The first couple of years, I was just trying to get a feel. Actually, the first couple of years, I was riding with a buddy, Scott of mine, and he was getting married, and he was like, "Man, I want to drop some pounds before this marriage and before this wedding and stuff like that." And so we we went out on the lake and we decided we were gonna run. That was short lived. I was like, man, too many football injuries. I'm not running on these knees and these ankles. So we sitting down on a bench and we're talking, trying to figure out what could we do, and not realizing all these bikes keep going by. And then I said, you know what? Let's go grab some bikes and let's try this out.
Huh.
So we literally got up, went to Walmart, and bought some bikes. We rode that summer. Scott dropped his weight that he needed to for the wedding. And then, once he got married, he stopped riding. So I was by myself. So I continued to ride. And then I started to get more into it. I didn't want the Walmart bike anymore. I wanted something else. So I upgraded the bike. I rode that for a little bit.
What bike was that?
I was on it was some kind of burnt orange hybrid mountain bike.
Okay, so a hybrid mountain bike. Okay.
Yeah, so, and it was a nice bike, but it still wasn't what I was looking for. And I couldn't figure out what kind of riding I wanted to do. But as I kept riding that bike, it was like, okay, this is not it. This is not it. Then
Wait, so let me guess. So your Walmart bike, was it a Huffy?
what was that thing? No, it was a black, white, and red Schwinn.
It was a Shrin. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Schwinn. Yeah, and it's funny because it just came up in my you had your Facebook memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it came up in my memories. It had me, my boy Troy, and Rob. We did Bike to Drive, and I saw myself holding a bike up after we finished. But yeah, so after that, my father had passed away, and I remember we were getting ready to go after the funeral. We just needed to, as a family, kind of get away. And I had prior had a trip to Vegas, but then I decided to just take everybody with me to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So we took my mother down to Vegas and just kind of let her just chill out. But the day before I left, I had went to Cozy and I put a Specialized Alley on layaway. I was like, I'm gonna just, I had to order it because the size I needed wasn't there. So I said, okay, I'll pick it up, when I get back in town. Get out in Vegas. And I was talking to my brother who was in Atlanta at the time. And he had just looked up and bought a Scatante. And he lucked up, it was a $1,600 bike that for some reason somebody ordered, didn't pick up. And that weekend when he came in, it was like half price day.
Wow.
So he ended up getting that bike for $800. So he calls me, sends me pictures, like, yeah, I got this bike, yeah. So I got ticked off. I was like, man, I just spent $1,600 and you got a better bike, it had better components and everything. So I was like, I figured out, I'll get to that level. That night, I couldn't sleep, too much on my mind. So I get up, I go down to the casino, threw $20 on the table just to do it. Never gambled before. Thing comes around, I won $1,200.
Wow, destiny.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow. So the guy was like, you want to run it back again? Nope. I took that money and instantly when I got on my phone and started going through the website for Cozy, I was like, I'm upgrading this bike. I'm not getting the one I ordered. So I ended up getting another model up. And when I got home, I had a road bike. And that was the beginning of me riding road bike style. And I must have did that for probably about a year by myself. And then throughout the day, I'd meet people out, pick up, somebody would ride with me. In the course of a day, I probably ride about 80 miles.
Wow.
And it was nothing like, aggressive or anything like that. It was just me riding a bike.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You and your bike.
Then a buddy of mine was in LA and I would always post whatever I did that day. Buddy of mine was like, hey, you ever hear of Major Taylor? I was like, no. He was like, yeah, it's a club in Chicago. He said, it's a lot of black cyclists and stuff like that. He said, you might want to check it out. I said, all right, I'll give it a look. I asked another friend and they was like, yeah, they basically ride out south. And at the time, I lived up here in Rogers Park. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. But with work and everything else, I never really got into it. Then the following year, he asked me, did I ever meet up with him? And I said, you know what? No, I didn't. I said, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the website and I'm going to pay for the membership. Because if I pay for the membership, then I know I'll go.
Gotcha.
So that's how I did. I just went and paid for the membership. And I think that was, I want to say 2016. So that year, I got the membership and I forced myself to go do rides. So that whole year, I would get up, ride with the club and just kind of get a feel. And it was cool because not only was I riding with other black cyclists, but I wasn't riding alone anymore, which kind of was cool. I had other people to talk to, other people to kind of watch and to learn more because I really didn't know a lot. I didn't know about the gears and all that stuff. I was just,
Yeah.
I was grinding gears,
Yeah, we all started somewhere where we're just
Yeah.
doing Albo did everything almost wrong. And then eventually, from the people that ride around, we kind of figured, oh my God, I've been doing this wrong for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I, one morning I got up, did like, I think I did like 30 miles before going to work. And I was kind of feeling myself. So I made a post and it said, what did you have for breakfast? I had 30 miles. And so there was a guy in the club, by the name of Austin Pope. He comes under my post and said, we were going to go back and get the other 30. I was like, dang, I was like, man, that's rough, bro. And he was like, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
All good intentions, though.
Yeah.
All good intentions.
He was like, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 87th and South Lakeshore Drive, be there. So my buddies who I would ride with in the club, they was like, man, Austin and them, they ride hard, bro. It was like, you gonna go? And I'm like, well, bro, I'm an ex-athlete. I'm not gonna back down from anything.
Of course.
I was intimidated as hell, but I said, I'm not gonna back down. I show up and man, those guys beat me into the ground like week after week, week after week. But after I got beat up, when I would go back to my guys, whatever I learned, I beat them up.
Gotcha.
So I just, how they said, you pay it forward, So towards the end of the season, I wasn't getting left, like I was because I had been putting in the work. Now I'm getting a different mindset of how this riding is. I'm learning gears. I'm learning how to ride a pace line. I'm learning how to hold my line. All of these things that I had no idea. And on top of that, it was the competitiveness that really pulled me into it because I was a football player. So that competitive nature really kind of drew me back in. By the end of the season, they used to have a ride where they would drive from 87th and South Lake Shore all the way to Lighthouse Mall. Round trip is 101 miles.
Ooh.
But it would always be just that core group of guys. Well, because I had been going back and forth and everybody's been seeing my struggle and me building back up, to try to stay with these guys, that morning we got ready to leave and it was about 50 of us. And it was like, man, we never had this many people, go. We went and did the ride. We had a great time. I come home and it was like 101 degrees that day. It was hot.
Yeah, but as you know, we're black folks. We're made for the heat, not for sleep.
Right. Right. We get back, and I remember the Olympics were going on. And I came in the house, and I'd already preset my air conditioner because I knew I was going to be beat when I got in. I came in, I literally laid on the floor in front of the air conditioner, and I'm watching the TV, and there was a female cyclist coming around the corner, and I remember she crashed and went over the guardrail. And I'm laying there and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I saw that, And then instantly I fell asleep. Next thing I know, my phone rings and it's Austin and a couple of guys call, say, hey, you home? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, we need to talk to you. Cool. They come over, they sit in my living room and say, hey, you ever think about running for president of the club?
Oh, wow.
What? No, I just got here. I was like, I just, want to ride the bike. And they was like, well, right now, you got the club in the palm of your hand. And they was like, we've never had people show up like
which
that.
club are we talking about now?
We're talking about Major Taylor Cycling Club, Chicago.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, we've never had people show up like this. And it's because they're following what you're doing. So I thought about it. And it's still, at the time, I was like, nah, I don't know if I want the responsibility. And, but they kept pushing. So when it came time to run, I was like, all right, I'll do it. I ended up winning. And, I was the president of the club for like 2 years. And then after about 2 years, club grew. But the club evolved. You know, it was a social club, but because of that core group that was so strong, they got even stronger. But the rest of the club still wanted to stay
Right, as a
social.
right.
So it become
Hard to balance and the toggle between the different level of fitness.
And I was one who was trying to protect the brand, but also give everybody kind of what they wanted.
Right.
And it got really hard.
Yeah, it can be tough to find a happy medium for everybody.
Yeah. And the founders and stuff really wanted the club to stay, you know, more social than aggressive. So the last year I decided, you know, I'll back off and let somebody else run the club. And when I backed away, those core guys, the fast guys, were just like, what are you going to do after this? You know, start another club? Or then I was like, no, I'm just going to just ride. We'll just ride or whatever. I don't see why we need another club. They was like, well, if you don't start another club, all of us will probably just go ride up north. So I'm at home one morning and I'm trying to think, what should I do? I don't know about starting a club, you know. This was already established and I was just stepping in and running it. And I remember getting ready for work and I'm brushing my teeth and going across my arm is this logo. I had planned on making this a clothing line way before thinking about a club. And a coworker made the design for me. You know, we were sitting down and he was sketching some stuff out. And I was like, yeah, I like that. So I had it for a while and wasn't doing anything with it. And just like I said before, with the membership, I say if I buy the membership, I'll be forced to do something about it. Well, I had the logo for a while and I wasn't doing anything with it. So one morning I got up and I went and had it tattooed on my arm. I said, now it's on me. I'll do something with it. And that morning I was brushing my teeth and it was going across the glass. And then I paused and I went,
click.
I got a club. I got a club. I got a name. I got a club. So I got in sketching a kit, sent it out to a couple of guys, and I got messages back saying we got a club. And that was 2019.
And this is the birth of Misfit Cycling.
That's how it started.
Wow. And so what's the main like premise or goal of Misfit Cycling?
We are one. The whole thing is we were and still are a group of experienced cyclists. So when we came from Major Taylor, it was a come one, come all. And when we would have performance rides, everybody wanted to still come and be with the performance riders, but you couldn't necessarily keep up. So it kind of would blow the ride for the performance guys, and the non-performance people, they just wanted to be a part of it, which I can understand. But if you have a set goal for the day, that's your goal. You know, you don't want anybody to take you out of your element.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we started this club, I initially handpicked people who I wanted to bring in because I wanted the same mindset. You know, we go out, we hammer for hour and a half, we go to work. You know, everybody's going out and we've got the same mindset of what we're doing. Everybody's, you know, somewhat around the same skill level. So we didn't have any confusion. And then over time, we would add more people. But you had to bring somebody in. It wasn't hey, I just want to join. No, somebody had to bring you in because they had to vouch for you.
Gotcha. So for Misfit, is there like a membership fee or anything? And also, if you want to find Misfit cycling, where do we find you guys? You go to Instagram.
You find us on Instagram, Misfit Cycling Chicago. You see us everywhere.
So can you vouch for me if I try to come?
I got you. You want to kill those guys, so I'm not worried. But yeah, that's how we post open rides. Um, and that's how we tend to, find new people. We also find them through word of mouth. Um, but it's not something that we're not like always out looking for new riders. You tend to just find them being out,
Gotcha.
and it's a vibe.
And you guys are open to anybody, everybody, more or
Yeah,
less. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We're predominantly black, but we don't give a care what color you are. We more so care about your skill level. Because and even with that, if say you're an A rider, say you're a B rider, but you're like you can tell that you putting in the work to build up, we'll pull you in, and we'll help build you up. We It's a thing of value, you know. It's probably 50 of us, and we keep it small for, like I said, it's a vibe, and we want to know who's here,
Gotcha.
and everybody has to bring a value to the club. So therefore, it's not set on one particular person, three people. Before we came where all of the ride leaders were the same people all the time. So you were always responsible for setting up rides, this, that, and other, to the point where it was you were taken away from your personal goals. So now with everybody being skilled in Misfits, anybody can do whatever. And then to the name itself, we don't have a lot of rules. The only rule is protect the brand.
Gotcha. And as I always say, when it comes to cycling and whatever you do in life, and this is also one of the development authority rules, like don't be a twat waffle. Right?
Don't do anything stupid with the
Exactly.
name with your name on
Exactly.
your kit.
Exactly. I can dig that. So it's pretty, yeah. So it's covered a lot, and we're gonna learn from. So I'm gonna start calling Mr. President now, since I know you were. I mean, this is huge. He was a president of Major Taylor for 2 years, and for you guys who know who Major Taylor is, African American guy, but a backlash, slick kick, but we all you can read up about Major Taylor on the internet. Look him up. This is what we represent here. I mean, this is great stuff. So you mentioned that you went from a Schwinn, then you get your is a Huffy and
It's Schwinn, and then it was I believe
yeah,
it was a Huffy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now you're biking at a high level. But before you get to you mentioned you play football. Where do you play football?
I went to my high school years, Olympia Fields out of Rich Central High School, and then I went to Illinois State.
Okay, so what bottom position do you play?
I was quarterback and strong safety.
Mr. President and quarterback. See, so this is what we're here. Okay, we want to learn about the people in network. Okay, so you were QB.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in college, my roommate Dana Turner, he was the QB for the football team in college,
Okay.
which is Paulding College. So I went to HBC in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
and I was my roommate. But that guy was another level of, yeah, he played pretty good, and then afterwards he left, and then lost the football program and blah blah. But yeah, like I was a roommate of a QB in my life, and then with a president and a QB. So, and then he's a cornerback.
No, quarterback and then a strong safety.
And a strong safety. So, what's a strong safety exactly?
It's your last line of defense.
Okay, so when everybody get pooped out, you're the one to stop those.
You're the one, the last one, the furthest out. Yep.
To stop those receivers.
To stop the receivers or a running back that breaks out.
So you have to have like the juggernaut. I'm going to stop you. You're going to pass me. Yep. Wow, pretty amazing stuff, man. So how many bikes do you have now?
Now I'm actually down to one. At one point, I had four.
Why downsizing?
Well, I ended up downsizing through COVID because there were so many. You couldn't get bikes, and so for people who didn't have anything, I just sold some of the stuff that I had so people could ride.
Wow, that's very noble of you.
So when we went through COVID, everybody was in the house, and we were the first ones to actually go outside. I developed a plan to keep us safe and distant. And, I did it for our mental health.
Yeah, of course. By the way, during COVID, we didn't stop going outside either.
Yeah.
we still bike with the core group of guys I used to bike with. We still bike with those guys, and we knew each other. We were all professionals. We did all the precautions and stuff, and we all went out through entire COVID and bike.
I think the COVID year, we probably had our best year of cycling. I don't think anybody in the club was under 4,000 pounds that summer.
Wow.
And we even took a bikecation to Detroit.
I said, a new word, bikecation.
Yeah, bikecation.
I'm going to use that word pretty soon.
Yeah, we took a bikecation to New York. One of my buddies at the time, he was a VP of the Detroit Major Taylor Club. And I told him we were just going to come up for the weekend. We got 2 Airbnbs. And we went out there and we rode with the club. And, everybody took precautions and stuff like that. And I remember after the ride, we all went to this burger joint. And we were sitting out in the back, and one of the guys walked up. He said, "Hey, man," he said, "I just want to say thanks." And I was like, "Thanks for what?" And he was like, "This whole summer," he said, you kept us out there, but you kept us safe." And he said, and then this bikecation thing, he said, "You just don't know what this did for a lot of people's mental state, and I mean, it wasn't necessarily just for them. I needed it as well." And at the time, my girl and I, we initially went out and we was just us riding. I didn't say anything to anybody because I didn't want the backlash.
Correct. People are a little bit kind of sensitive during COVID. You have to be very meticulous and pick your rides, time, and all different things. Because people, you don't want to get shamed for going out and all the different things. So, but we made it, and here we are. So, what bike exactly do you have now? What brand?
I have LA Sprint, Specialized LA Sprint.
That's a good bike right there.
It is 100% my geometry. So I can
go. What size? A 50?
I'm a 61.
61.
Yeah. I can go between the LA Sprint and the Tarmac and not make any adjustments. And I can be on that thing up to 6 hours without feeling any discomfort. Now I had a Venge at one time, and I think I got up to about 50 miles. And then it's like all kind of stuff started rejecting on my body.
This was your fit.
So I loved that bike. I had it custom painted and everything, but I ended up crashing it. Yeah.
Is Ali that you have now, is it disc brake or rim brake?
It is it's rim brake. I'm looking at a disc brake now because I want to keep the same frame, but I'm just going to upgrade to disc. So I just hadn't done it.
So if you're running rim brake, you're probably running about 28 maximum for your tires, or 20?
Yeah, I'm 28.
28? Yeah. Because that's the limitation of the rim brake, because they can go up to 28 or something. But other than that, it's not going to work. So most of my bikes now, I just discovered 28s. Move from 25, I'm like, I was missing out. I
love the 28s.
28s are amazing.
Yeah.
And then this bike right here, these are 32s.
Okay.
Because it's a disc brake, so you can hold up. So I ride this and I'm like,
you got more clearance.
There's a lot of clearance, and it's so comfy. It's like,
yeah, I'm 28s, and I want to say 50 millimeter rims. I used to ride 60.
60 is okay. You can get away with 60 in Chicago, but it's not.
Mine are 50 now.
So I think this is this is a 60, and one over there that's a 60.
Okay. Yeah.
50 and 60. And most of my bikes.
Yeah, this is a 60. That's the 50.
That's a 50. Yeah. So that's the first bike I ever owned, officially built myself. A friend of mine helped me build it. Pretty cool. It's really stiff and nice. But this Spintex right here, this is probably one of my most aggressive bikes.
I built. I've only done that once. Well, all of my bikes, I've always bought the frame.
Me too.
Yeah, I've always bought the frame, and then I get the components. Now I don't tinker like that, so I buy all of the components, and then I have either one or two guys be able to actually build.
Well, if you even need help, just let me know. I mean, I build all the bikes you see here. My famous S-Twerks, one and only. This is the only S-Twerks in the world. I built it myself with also mismatched components. It's like a Frankenstein bike. Like, the shifters don't match the brake. Don't they're like Ultegra 105 and like
a lot of that stuff
it's all
it
mismatched.
works together anyway. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
weight difference.
Right.
So I mean, whatever.
And I show up to a bike ride and I can still own my own no matter which group I go with. And they're like, what? Well, yeah. So I have my Mad One and my S-Torx. And I'm thinking about building some more crazy looking bikes with random names. Because again, a lot of people kind of focus on the bike. And I'm like, you know what? If you put the work in, you'll do just fine.
I mean, the motor is you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Ben, so you've been biking for like 16 years now. That's a long time. So you've probably seen a lot of things changing in Chicago. And how is the culture between, like, say, you're a south side versus north side? Have you seen any big difference with the cultures in both these locations and cycling?
Not really. Our base is very broad, so we have members on the north side. We have them south side. We have them suburban. We have them out west, like in Naperville and stuff like that. So we move around when we ride. Now, as far as like day to day, majority of the rides start at like 87th and South Lakeshore. We ride in towards Indiana.
And what time you guys start?
We're getting ready to put the schedule up. I'm trying to do the schedule probably this weekend.
Okay.
Where we 2 days a week we'll probably have a 6 a.m. ride. And then we'll probably have another 2 days where we'll have a 6 p.m. ride. So we'll have a morning ride for the people who start work a little later. And then we'll have an evening ride for, everybody who can get to a 6 p.m. ride. And then Tuesday we have a standing taco ride.
Gotcha.
Which the taco ride is our low key chill. It's only a 20-mile ride. We stop at a local taco place. Some people may sip a margarita or whatever, and it's just a decompressed day.
Yeah. Okay, so when you post the schedule, let me know, because I'm gonna make one of the rides. I don't know if it's gonna be a 6 p.m. or a 6 a.m. because if it's 6 a.m., I'm not gonna drive down. I'm gonna ride my bike, and from here to 87 is a good 30 miles, I think, or
from here to
25, 30, right?
About 20, 25 miles. 25.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not worried about the distance.
And then the morning ride is only anywhere between 22 and 27 miles, depending on the morning route.
No, I don't mind the distance. I'm trying to figure out how to get down to you guys since I'm all the way up north.
Lake?
No, I'll take the lake down. I'm trying to do the logistics of what if I need to leave at like 4:30 or because I'm not gonna drive. I mean, I could drive and get on the like in about 30 minutes, but I want to ride my bike. To the distance. Anyway, we'll work it out once you guys got on a schedule. And so
then on weekend rides, we'll move around. So sometimes we're up here on a Saturday. So what we're gonna do is a performance rides will be Sunday, and then club rides will be Saturday.
Gotcha.
So performance rides will be a little hard hitting, and that would be Sunday morning or Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, depending on where we're going.
But it would be a 6 a.m. start, or it would be
no. A lot of times the weekend rides start about anywhere between 7 and 8.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
more than enough.
We push them. We push those just a little bit further back, so we have the light and then it's the weekend. You got to get up at 6 during the week, so you try to get somebody another 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, so the rides I do up here, I leave home at like 5:15, 5:10, and I head up north and I meet my friends at Plaza, Cortado. Then by 7:30 I'm back home, and then I can just get kids to school, and then everything is good. But again, it's just for me to get all the way down south by 6 o'clock. I have to leave here at maybe 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we
get the bike path down.
In the beginning of the season, we always say rides are at 6 o'clock. We pull out at 6:01. At 6:01, if you're not there, you got to catch up. So, but in the start of the season, we kind of give a grace period because everybody kind of getting the cobwebs off.
Gotcha.
You get that whole thing where you may get all your stuff together and then you get ready to go ride and you realize you left your water bottle. It's kind of getting the cobwebs off for the winter. And then, after about 2-3 weeks or whatever.
In the beginning of when we go from indoor riding to outdoor riding, I've left home a couple times with my helmet.
We rode last weekend and I had everything with me. We got ready to pull out, and we got maybe a mile away from the cars, and I must have reached down, and I'm like, "Where's my water bottle?" In the back seat.
It happens.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
It
"Come on,
happens.
dude."
The transition from indoors to outdoors. The main thing. Do you do a lot of trainer riding?
No, I cannot do it. It
I.
is so boring to me.
It
I will
is.
lift, I will do everything else, but riding indoors, I'm so visual. So I've had the whole setup before. I mean, where I had a whole wall that was screened. And if I look to my right and I see a couch, and I look to the left and I see a cabinet, I'm in the house. I can't do it.
So this
I
is
only last about 15 minutes.
so this is why everything is like cut up. My trainer is away from everything. So I did 2 hours and 35 minutes to the trainer right here.
There would be no way in
My longest ride on my trainer was 6 hours and 8 minutes nonstop. I did that on the trainer. But
outside, not a problem.
Yeah.
Indoor, not gonna happen.
So the reason why I do the trainer is because I'm trying to stay fit during the winter time. So when I get outside, I'm still up and up because the guys I bike with, those guys are like guys who cat 1s, cat 2, cat 3s. These guys are hitting it really, really hard. I'm much older, so for me to stay fit, I get to do my trainer. And I'm telling you, once I got over the mental aspect of the sitting in the trainer, and just like, then it got better. Let's have a big screen, so I'm immersed into everything.
Yeah, we got guys that into trainer role and
I do Zwift.
And Zwift and
oh, by the way, I do the Wednesday night Major Taylor ride.
Okay.
I've been on several of those rides already.
Okay.
I found them and I bike with a bunch of the guys. There's actually some guys from Jamaica that's on that ride with them. But one of the guys' name is Johnson or whatever. I did run the Major Taylor ride maybe like 4 or 5 times now. It was actually a lot of fun. So we do this. I did the C ride, but end up going with the B guys, and then
they got a ride out south that's called I can't think of the name, but it's like the course is a figure 8. And I guess the goal for the ride is to finish with a 20 average.
Okay.
And it's a cool ride. You just got to get out there. It's all the way out in Flossmoor.
Gotcha. No, but the ride I'm talking about, this is actually on Zwift though.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about, but they have a weekly ride. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday around 6:00. But it's a cool ride too. I mean, they got a bunch of good riders out there. With Major Taylor as well. Good people. We just 2 different clubs. That's all.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's fine. But as the goal is just to bring people together, it's like just spin and have a good time, be safe, enjoy yourself, and just make the best of it. And again, just bring more people to cycling, keep people safe, and just have fun while doing it. I mean, that's why I do it.
We have an event on the 26th of this month. Bronzeville Trail Task Force is opening up a new section of a new trail through Bronzeville, and there's a press conference. And one of the guys called and said, "Hey, it'd be kind of cool if we could get a bunch of cyclists, to show up." That part of the trail is like short. This extension is not like really set up to just get people to come, show up and ride. You put a kid on, you want to do at least 20 miles.
Gotcha.
And that's not what this is. So we built in a 20-mile ride for us to come back to the press conference. So therefore, you got people there, in kits representing and stuff like that. And then when we come over the bridge, they're going to have a drone that's going to film everybody coming in.
Where's Brownsville?
Bronzeville.
How far is that from here?
From here, it is like 20 minutes.
Okay, because again, I'm asking because if it's not too cold, I know I could ride.
I'll send you the information. I'll send you the information for it.
Because my
We're gonna
problem is,
leave out at 9 in the morning.
oh, that's fine. It's,
Yeah.
it's in a week. It's in a weekend.
It's Saturday the 26th.
Okay. Again, if it's not too cold, it's not raining and stuff. I don't. Again, if it's warm enough, I will ride anywhere with my bike. Okay, I will go anywhere. But it's just like the cold. I used to do the cold with my buddies from Cortado. I had heated gloves, heated sock, heated vest. I got everything. Okay, and I used to bike with these guys. And then I'm like, what's the point of me putting on like 30 pounds of clothes to go bike at 18 miles an hour? It's like, it wasn't anything for. I get home, my fingers are still frozen. I was getting sick, bringing the
I think
cold
the
air.
most I'll do is 45 degrees now. After that, nah.
Yeah, I was, man, it would be like 20 degrees, 25 earlier.
And I have to go.
Wind chill.
I have to go and come back. I can't go and chill for a minute.
Oh yeah, and we will chill.
I have to come
we'll
back
bike from here.
I get wet and oh man, that's bad.
So we'll bike from here, go up to the to Fort Sheridan.
Yeah,
the lollipop will come back, and then we stop at Highland Park. There's a Starbucks in Highland Park, and then we'll bike off and go on the ground to stay warm.
Is that the one right by the Baha'i?
No, that's much further north. Much further north. There's a Starbucks actually in Highland Park, close where the shooting happened in the area.
Okay.
And we used to get a coffee and go on the ground to stay warm, and then you cool down and get back again without sweat on you and stuff. And then I was getting too sick, and I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? Baby just gave me Zwift. I'm like, I'm gonna stick to my trainer. So I was just like Zwift. Like now, this year, I've only ridden outside like about 5 times already. Because I'm not going in the cold. I am not doing it because I would get really, really sick. So now I'm like, this is what.
Now we have tons of gear for whatever the weather situation is. I design all of our kits. We have our own store. I think we have probably 45 Misfit jerseys.
Wow, and you can just order like one jersey and they will make them. You have to batch order that. Just order it. Okay.
We you can buy whenever our stores don't ever close, and then you typically get your stuff in like 14 days.
I wish it was 14.
I wish it was 14 hours. Yeah, we typically get your stuff in about 14 days. And we have one set design that's the club uniform, and then we just have a whole bunch of other stuff that you can just wear wherever. And that just came from me. I every year I was buying probably 4 or 5 kits for the season, and I was like, you know what? I might as well just wear my own logo. So I called the company and was like, yo, I want to make a bunch of stuff. And they was like, well, you the one designing it. So you not using the designer. So go ahead and do what you want to do. So after that, anytime stuff used to pop in my head, I make it. Okay. And I showed you that picture before, that closet. Mm-hmm. It's like tons of stuff in that closet. I could probably make about 6 kits in one day. Wow. All I have to do is have some kind of something to go off of, and sometimes it's a color, it may not necessarily be a design. I may see a color out of nowhere, and that color just sparks something. Now I want something in that color. So now I'm playing with the design and stuff like that. And we got a lot of stuff.
All right. So anyway, we're gonna check it out, and I hopefully after we post, so people get to learn more about you, we can start supporting. Because again, I didn't know Misfit existed. So and I ride with a lot of people in Chicago, but almost a lot of the groups. I know a lot of people. So now I'm learning about Misfit, and hopefully, as I'm learning, other people can actually learn about Misfit. And we're going to be supporting it this time for sure. And if you guys ever come up north, let me know. I'm going to try to come down south. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So we know that we're going to call him Mr. President for sure, Mr. QB. If you mind sharing, but what do you do outside of your regular life? What do you do in a regular, so we can,
I'm a dad, a grandpa.
Grandpa already?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It's cool. The little girl got me wrapped around her finger all the time. So, I work for the county, work for the Forest Preserve. So, after working, I'm 50 now, so I'm not really out like I used to be. If I'm not on the bike, I try to go to the gym, hang out with the fam. That's pretty much it.
Do you go to some of the Jamaican restaurants in town? Or you're not a fan of
Now,
Jamaican
I
food?
used to go to the bakery a lot.
And Howard.
Yes, yes,
Actually, I need to
yes,
go there to get some
yes.
Easter bun today. Actually, I need to go get some stuff for my kids.
It was funny. I actually live right there at Howard and Greenview. And I probably was there for about a year before I even knew that bakery was there. I went to Atlanta and did One Love. And I had my first um, beef patty and cabbage. And I was like, man, this is so fire. I was like, wow,
That's what kids say. This is comp.
and right, right. So I come back home and I'm searching. I was like, man, I know I can get something like this home.
This
I
is
looked this
Chicago.
up and it was literally on the freaking corner. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It's been on the corner all
All
this
this
time.
time. Yep, that's what. As again, you just mentioned One Love. Please let people know what One Love Ride is, because I know my friend Kendall has been going and he said, "You need to come and go," but tell people what One Love.
One
One Love.
Love is it's a ride in Atlanta. You can do anywhere between 40, 60, and 100. It's hot as hell, but it's hot and it's humid always. But when I tell you they really put it out for everybody, it's just like that. It's the name. It's One Love. It's you probably have about 500-600 riders down there from all over the place. Um, it's a very nice course. It's very well supported.
And what month is this?
This is
Do you remember what month you went down?
September, I think.
September. Okay, so it shouldn't.
It's a holiday
It
weekend.
shouldn't be too hot though.
No, it's hot, bro. It's always hot in Hot Atlanta. Man, look, one year we went and Friday is the fish fry ride. And
Is it Labor Day weekend or something?
yeah, something like that. It's that holiday weekend. But Friday, yeah, the fish fry ride. We couldn't start the ride because it was storming. Everybody sitting in their cars, just sitting. We stuck in the cars. It stormed for like 20 minutes. And I mean heavy.
Down.
Heavy. All of a sudden it stopped. The clouds moved, the sun came down, and it got so damn hot that all the water just sucked up just like
And
that.
that's right.
We was able to ride. It was so thick, but we still had a ball. The next day, it was just fine. And one golden rule, we're doing One Love. Once you get to the second rest stop, you have to make a decision. Either you going metric or you going century. I don't care what's going on. By the time you get to the second rest stop, that's when the heat kick in.
And then the heat is like time to separate the men from the boys.
That's when the heat kick in. And you get a lot of people show. You have Bahati comes. You'll have the Brown Fox. She'll come. It's a really, really good weekend.
So
it's a lot of fun.
You mentioned Bahati. So I'll tell a story that about 2 years ago, I left work and I'm like, I'm gonna ride my bike up to Norbrook to go to the Intelligentsia. So I was in Green Bay heading up and I saw this black dude in his green kit and his green giant bike and everything. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? How is it going? He said, yeah, I'm heading up to Intelligentsia. Where are you going? He said, I'm going to the same place. Oh, let's ride up together. And he said, I'm gonna follow my map. I'm like, oh, where your map? Just follow me. So I'm like, oh, my name is Omar, and he's like, my name is Rashawn. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm into cycling and blah blah. And I'm like, okay. So I had no idea where Rashawn was. Okay, we rode up to Norbrook, and we were just goofy around the entire time, talking about his day. He come to ride at Judson here, all things in for cycling, and I had no clue who Rashawn was. I went down into Norbrook. All of a sudden, all of the black folks, they were just like surrounding him. I'm like, who is this guy? So when I tell one of my buddies, like, oh, I just heard about this guy. He's like, you heard about this guy? That's Rashawn Bahad. I'm like, who is it? Because I'm 5 years. I don't know who he was. I Googled him and I'm like, what? I just rode with this guy talking crap, smack talking each other all the way up to Norbrook, and I had no clue who he was. But now I know him, and every time I go and I see him now, he's like, "Hey, you remember who we are now?" So now I'm like, okay, now and now of course I follow him on Instagram and Facebook and all the things, but I had no idea it was. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? But he's a cool dude. He's a
Yeah,
cool
he
dude.
is. He's a
And
real laid back guy.
yeah, and I've actually met even Corey and Justin too, because they came intelligence in the same year. And then Specialized Store hosted them, and we went down and we rode at them. And I know Justin is not a fan of ankle socks. So when I saw him, I rolled my socks down. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" I share my socks, and he was like, "It's a movement." We were just goofing for a longest time, and there are him and Corey. It was a lot of fun. So again, Chicago, man, we have like amazing things in this city. People from all over the world,
We got the
culture,
greatest
size.
skyline.
Yeah, we have a nice lakeshore
Yep.
drive. I mean, bike path. We have up north. We have down south. All different groups, and there's still so much to explore. I'm still learning. I'm in 5 years now, but I came from running to biking, and I just try to, I'm not. I'm in almost all the clubs. I pay all the fees, and I go into clubs because I'm not going to race crits or anything like that. I tell people there's no conflict of interest for me. Okay, I have all the jerseys in Chicago, most of the big clubs and everything, because I know the folks and I just ride and want to have fun, and that's what I do. Any group, any speed, when they hardly want to hit it or so you want to hit it, I think I'm all right to keep up with almost anybody. So that's one thing I love about Chicago, and the people are just so amazingly nice. My group that I bike with every day, Cortada, because you're close by. I get out of the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm back by 7:15. Get myself together. I can go to work, and I love that. It works perfectly. So,
Yeah.
but I'm going to be coming down. I'm telling you, I'm going to be coming down south. So anything that you say, so you're not a fan of indoor, really indoor training, okay? I'm telling you, once you get over that mental, it'll make a big difference
I'm sure
for
it
your
will.
fitness.
I'm sure.
I'm telling you it, because initially I was like that too, and then once I learned that like you can, because like Zwift it's a social component to it,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get a big enough TV screen, you can get really immersed into what's going on. I've met people on Zwift and met them in real life, and it's like, what? When I chose the difference, I'm like, oh, we work together on Zwift. So you get to meet people, because the people that are on there, people actually all over the place. You see them in real time, you see the avatar. And Zwift kind of keep things interesting and keep you, you can train if you want, special training programs. It comes with a membership.
Yeah.
So once you get over that mental, you want to be like, you know what? I'm going to try it. It's boring. But if you make your setup like a really nice, from everything, don't look at the sofa. Put no sofa inside, no cupboards with food, none of that stuff. I'm telling you. And also, just like you said before, if you have like have a goal or something like that, you get it done, because that's how you end up getting it, right. So if you have something coming, I need to get on the Zwift and I need to put the work in. And this is what keeps me up in the winter time, so I don't go crazy. I'm always on I Zwift. And then because here in Chicago, we have about 6 months of good riding or so, 5 to 6 months, and then the rest is like cold time. So this is what keeps me going.
I can't stand my friends in San Antonio.
Or Miami and all these other places.
Right? All year Aaron, I can't stand you because you get to ride all year long.
Aaron, I don't know you, but I can't stand you either. But yeah, amazing. I mean, anything you wanna. So, what's one of your favorite places to ride in Chicago? Do you have any favorite, like a favorite course you like to ride? Because you ride mainly down south. Anything you wanna?
Believe it or not, I actually like riding in like Westmont, or it's kind of like the outskirts of the city. It's like farmland because we don't have to stop. In the city, we have the lights, and it's not until we get all the way out towards like Indiana where we can kind of pin our ears back. We gotta work our way out.
Then go to like Wolf Lake.
Yeah, you got to get a little further. You actually got to get a little further past Wolf Lake before you can actually get out, kind of pin your ears and go. But even with that, you still got a lot of lights. So you get, you build up to 24, 27 miles per hour. And now you got to break it down because of the lights and stuff like that, and then build that back up. I'm not a little guy, so once the train gets moving, I like to just moving. So, but when we go out in like the countryside and stuff like that, it's nothing out there, So you just rolling.
That's like where my wife is from. She's from Sterling, which is west of here. And man, when I ride over there, like I'll ride, I can do like 60, 70 miles. and I probably see 5 cars.
Yeah,
And
stuff like that is
there's
like
no
perfect.
there's no stop lights. You might see a stop sign, but you can just
You see stop signs,
you can
yeah.
just roll through those. But other than that, amazing. What
You get out in the cornfields, and as long as you can see when the stop signs come up, you can see left and right.
Just roll.
Just go.
Idaho stop.
Right.
And I think they're trying to pass Idaho stop in Chicago. We've been pushing for a long time to get it because getting tickets and stuff. So anyway,
that's only up here. Yeah, you get up and when we come up here to ride, we are always conscious of the police. Yeah. Now, south, they don't bother us. You know, they'll as long as you're not doing anything just stupid,
right.
They're not gonna bother you.
Here is a different story. Every
sometimes they'll if they close enough, they'll block it. If it's a lot of us and we coming, they'll roll up and they'll block and just be like,
"Wow!" Yeah. I wish every year up north in about early May, mid-May or whatever May, they come out and they just write a bunch of tickets to people, then they disappear. So they make a statement and they disappear, and it's so sad. And it's always like running these stop signs where like there's like you're like by yourself. There's no car in any direction. And you roll ticket.
Now I almost got a ticket one day. I don't know if I took my eye off the road or something came across or whatever, but I lost sight of where I was. And you got a road out here where bikes can't go on.
And in Tower.
Yeah. And man, when I tell you, I must have made a turn. And then when I looked up, I didn't see anybody. So I'm like, man, they took off just that quick. They took off. So I started hammering. And that thing is so freaking fun.
It is. But
until you get up to the top and it's a cop sitting up there.
Yep.
He was like, what are you doing down here? I was like, what do you mean? And I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be on the road.
Yeah, there's a sign right there that you have to know because I when I moved here initially, I almost went down there and then I realized, no, you can't go because they give you a ticket. And the ticket is kind of for your safety because those
it's blind.
It's a lot of blind corners.
It's blind,
a lot of blind corners and stuff. It's fun.
Oh my God.
But the corners are very blind.
You talk about adrenaline push.
Oh yeah. But again, it's because it's for safety. So I understand. But be careful. So if the people don't know this, you come up north. Once you go up Tower Hill, please make a left on Tower. Do not go straight. Okay? Because there's a sign there that says no bicycle down there. If you go there, I guarantee there's a 90% chance there's a cop.
The cop sitting right on top.
Right on top, and they give you a ticket.
And what saved my butt is when I got up there, you saw the rest of the team go by, and I was like, how'd they get up here? He was like, you weren't supposed to go down this way. I was like, I'm not from up here. I was like, I must have took my eyes off of them, and I thought they went this way. And he was like, yeah, don't go this way. He's like, don't go on this road.
It's a safety. It's a safety issue. I mean, running is fine, but bicycle is literally it's a safety problem. Yeah. So any plans for 2025 and any big rides coming up? Anything in the books?
We're trying to figure out. Well, we have an event. We hosted Major Taylor National Alliance International Alliance ride in Chicago last year. 500 cyclists from all over the country came in. We started in Bronzeville, and I mean, we rode all the way out south. Came back. It was a beautiful weekend. This year, it's in LA.
Oh.
And then LA is set up for a beautiful weekend as well. And then you'll get to meet Bill Gaston, who's over the Alliance. And he'll talk to you about the Alliance and how it's set up and what it does.
Good. I think once you break the ice and he sees your video, then he'll be like, okay, I'll come on. I've texted him a couple of times and I still haven't heard back, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, it's gonna happen.
Bill, when I was president of Major Taylor Chicago, Bill was my VP. So we had countless nights when we sat up, to almost 3 a.m, brainstorming, trying to get things together for the club and stuff like that. He's a real good guy, the mastermind of the Alliance. So, and he's been doing a lot of big and good things for, cycling and cycling in the major's name. So I think you'll have a good interview with Bill as well.
All right, Bill. Looking forward to it. before as we come to a close, do you want to leave us with any motivational, thing for us? Or what mantra do you live by? Something that just keep us.
Cycle for fun, cycle for health. Um, unless you're a racer, you know, don't let it consume you in the sense of, PR this, PR that, trying to take somebody else out. Um, I've noticed that over the past probably 2 years, there's been too much focus on averages and stuff like that, where people forget how to have fun and and push the next man, or if somebody's falling off a little bit, reach out and say, hey, even sometimes you have to ride next to somebody and put your hand on their back, and kind of guide them. We are our brother's keeper. So, just remember that when you're out there. It's fun, man. This is stuff we used to do as a kid. It was a lot cheaper back then, but still it's the same. Cycling for me is my stress reliever, but it's also where I can just be a kid. I don't think about much. Once I clip in, whatever was stressing me, whatever I was thinking about before,
Gone.
gone.
I hear
So
you. I hear you. Same thing for me too. So
use it as your therapy.
I same here. I work really hard, and my thing is like when I'm out there, just let me be. If I come back home 6 8 hours later, 6 hours later is when I come back.
Yep.
I don't push the limits too crazy, but it's a good way to release stress. And again, I think Kendall said it is like, is this time for communion?
Yeah.
we don't break bread, but we do break sweat and legs and different things. But it's a time to communion and just to sit back and just relax. So we stop off coffee, learn about people. And one of the reasons why I do the Chicago Cycle Network interviews is because, we have a lot of people that we see, but we never like get a chance to like talk to them, because a coffee stop, we just cover so much, right? So this is where we want to learn about people. Hey guys, we have Kevin, we have Kendall, we have Omar, we got John, we got, all the different people in the network, and we are the people who come together. Whether you're Mr. President, you're a quarterback, or you're a running back, or a receiver, but this is what Chicago Cycling is about, okay? People from all different levels, we come together, we have fun, we have a good time, we keep each other safe, and it's all about sometimes from the people is mental health. I do for mental health too, and I do to push myself and, just have a good time. And the best part is my wife is a cyclist, so she understands. If I buy myself something, I buy it for her too. So we always have that commonality.
Smart man.
I've learned the rule.
Smart man.
And I can tell you many times I bought things before, and she before I could wear them, she wore them. Like, okay, it's fine. It's all good. But we keep it going. And okay, guys, this is what Chicago is all about. Okay, guys. So until we meet again, guys, keep the miles and smiles going. One love.